Have you guys seen this kid popping around on your X feed? Very forced. So this is Brilyn Hollyhand. People are deeming him like the next Charlie Kirk. He's pretty much popped out of nowhere right after Charlie Kirk's assassination. He's trying to tour around like Charlie Kirk. Basically is trying to be like a clone of Charlie Kirk. And from the start, this has felt like really forced. Like, where did this kid come from? Like, how do you get this big platform? All of a sudden, he's 18 years old. He's saying he's got partnerships with Turning Point right after the assassination. He's talking with Ben Shapiro. He's got pieces like this on the New York Post. So where exactly did this kid come from? So in this video, I'm going to dive into that. So if you like this stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, comment on this video, subscribe to my other social media accounts. We'll just dive on in. So this says, meet Brilyn Hollyhand. Teen conservative hailed as Charlie Kirk's protege promises to be bolder as he tours campuses. This is the New York Post. Blah, blah. He's 19 years old, dubbed the internet's youngest voice of reason, has seen his popularity surge ever since he landed an interview with Turning Point founder as a pint-sized fourth grader back in 2018. That seemed really forced too. And it was really weird because it was an interview with him and Candace Owens. How does a fourth grader land an interview like that? How does a 9-year-old? Doesn't really make sense, does it? Since then, Hollyhand has drawn 500,000 followers on social media, has been rallying young conservatives in a Kirk-like style across the country. So yeah, he's trying to be just like Charlie Kirk. He tries to, be humble. Charlie has very huge shoes to fill, not just because he is a man with large shoe size, but because, like, legitimately, no one can replace him. This whole thing just feels very forced. It says the college freshman said he was texting with Kirk hours before he was gunned down on stage. We were speaking that morning because he has seen me on Fox and has texted to turn around and be like, hey, man, you did such a great job. They went on to speak about how Kirk was excited for the first stop of the tour. The newly announced One Conversation at a Time tour, which was being sponsored by Turning Point in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, will kick off at University of Arkansas on Thursday. So when was this article made? A week ago. So last Thursday, I think it's supposed to kick off. So they're saying it was a partnership with Turning Point, but that's not true at all. It was not a partnership with Turning Point. I'll get into that in a second. Now Hollyhand, who was named co-chair of the Republican National Committee's Youth Advisory Council in 2023, focus on that part, 2023. That'll come back later. And it shows him as a 11-year-old with Charlie and Candace Owens. So this is like basically a puff piece from the New York Post on Brilyn Hollyhand, the new Charlie Kirk. Now let's really dive in to who this dude actually is, because like I said, he seemed to come out of nowhere. It seems like it's not organic that he's been pushed out. It seems very forced, and it's just like the timing too. It's like right after Charlie Kirk is gone, you're gonna force this kid on like everyone. It's just, the whole thing seems very strange. So right here, someone shares this. Meet Brilyn Hollyhand, 19 years old, by the way. Rolex watch, $10,000. That's a nice watch. Private jet, $10 million. Manny Petty, $1,000. Authenticity, 0. Grift, priceless. So yeah, he's flying around a private jet. Apparently his parents own some kind of like Section 8 housing company. So they're millionaires off of building like cheap homes for poor people. And he's trying to they're basically using their money to implant him into like this conservative sphere instead of him growing organically and building like an actual following. So this person dug through all of this. Really good. Well, I think this person did, and then this person shared it. So he says, today I learned that the RNC under Ronna McDaniel, you remember Mitt Romney's daughter, was trying to do the same cringe white guys for Harris, Harry Sisson shtick, but for Gen Z conservatives, with Brilyn Hollyhand was the face of it. So like I said earlier in the video, 2023 was the key part there, because that was back when Ronna McDaniel was running the RNC and basically controlling everything. In 2024, when Trump became the candidate, Trump took more control over the RNC. Ronna McDaniel was fired. It became more of a more modern conservative, I guess you would say, like what the party wanted. And so this is a guy that's picked by Ronna McDaniel. And like I said, white guys for Harris. How'd that work for Kamala Harris with the white dudes, the Harry Sisson, Dean Withers, all that? How'd that work? It's cringy. It's gross. It's forced. No one likes that stuff. Luckily for Trump and the right, Charlie Kirk was so incredibly effective and mobilizing Gen Z that they were completely overshadowed. No one even knew they were doing it. So let's recap. Rich Daddy pays for him to be connected to TPUSA and the RNC at an extremely young age. Charlie and TPUSA reject the direction of the RNC under failed leadership Ron McDaniel. Charlie sees how ineffective the RNC is at getting out the youth vote, sees the disaster of the Youth Advisory Council run by Hollyhand. Charlie starts his own campaign to get out the youth vote separate from the RNC because he knows if he just lets the RNC do their thing, he will lose. That's basically what his whole tour was last year, is getting out and getting these people's votes and getting people registered to vote. Young TPUSA members backed Charlie and signed a letter going against Ron McDaniel and the Youth Advisory Council run by Hollyhand and the RNC. Hollyhand doesn't sign the letter, instead doubled down on his support for Ron McDaniel and the corrupt RNC. TPUSA distanced themselves from Hollyhand after he stabs him in the back in favor of being Rana's lapdog. Charlie Kirk is assassinated within hours. Hollyhand and his father launch a campaign lying about their affiliation with Charlie and TPUSA. Hollyhand continues to lie, implying that Charlie was mentoring him and to be his replacement and that he is Charlie Kirk's heir apparent. You guys ever remember Charlie Kirk mentioning this dude at all? I don't. RNC establishment get him on Fox News and Ben Shapiro to spread the lie everywhere. Hollyhand starts campus tours that lies about being sponsored by TPUSA. Lied. And I think the Tyler Boyer, the guy that works with Charlie, brought this up. So he said this picture right here. Brilyn got paid by Ron McDaniel when she got elected and really let us all down. Someone said, is he still part of TPUSA? He said, no, he's not. TPUSA is thousands of chapters. He just set up to speak to 8 or so local ones and calling it a tour. Usually these things work. So basically he's implying that he's doing this tour like a Charlie Kirk type of thing when he's not. He was just asked to do a few speaking events. So here's him, like he went on Ben Shapiro. He did a Fox News thing. He's announcing it as a partnership with TPUSA when it's not. That's insane. So one last thing I do want to show. So yeah, this dude's basically is a complete fraud, right? This dude's a joke. This dude is basically trying to take advantage of a situation where Charlie Kirk's gone and is trying to insert himself as like the next Charlie Kirk, which is honestly just disgusting. And his parents are fully funding it. There's nothing organic about it. It's all absolutely fake. And one last thing. So Nick Fuentes responded to this, and what he said is just honestly great. You got to listen to this.
Past 2 days. It's an insult if this is the guy that's supposed to succeed Charlie Kirk. At this rate, I dare say almost having Charlie Kirk as political opposition. I think it's really more sad than anything. It seems like we cared more than they did.
To what those stocks are telling you, how much they chatter in your head, and do nothing about it. And they will have to cease. They need you to react and stop protecting them.
What the hell's going on?
Let anything that it want to happen to the ego self.
How did that start playing? That was weird. Somehow a video of Jesse Lee Peterson on my other tab started playing. Okay, let's try that again.
It's crazy how artificially boosted Brilyn Hollyhand has been in the past 2 days. It's an insult if this is the guy that's supposed to succeed Charlie Kirk. At this rate, I dare say I'll miss having Charlie Kirk as political opposition. I think it's really more sad than anything. It seems like we cared more than they did.
Dude, the Brilyn Hollyhand thing is crazy. Did you see this? So Brilyn Hollyhand, he was sort of on my radar. I've seen him before. He's like 18 years old. I think he's from Alabama. He's like your typical like hick conservative. And I say that like, you know, the type. Like he's wearing a golf shirt. He's wearing his khakis. He's going, I think, University of Alabama or something. He's got the Southern drawl. He's on Fox News with all the typical talking points and everything. So he's been on my radar. And when Charlie Kirk dies, this guy is like giddy. He is such a cynical, sociopathic operator. And I can recognize that. I see it. I get it. Total dark triad sociopath. He's going around selling himself like I'm going to be the successor, but telling everybody Charlie wants no one can replace him. He wants us to pick up the microphone. That's why I'm going to be the one to do it. And now after Charlie Kirk died, he immediately goes on Twitter and says, I'm partnering with Turning Point to do a campus tour. It's called the One Conversation at a Time Campus Tour. We're going to 10 campuses. I'm in a private jet. I'm hitting the streets. I'm going to all these campuses. Now, when I saw that announcement, I'm thinking, I thought Turning Point had this other campus tour. They got Tucker. They got Megyn Kelly. They got like big names. So I'm thinking, is this like a pilot program? That's kind of weird. Turning Point has an official campus tour to like honor Charlie Kirk, and it's got Michael Knowles, Tucker, like celebrities. And then here you got this 18-year-old college freshman with like no following, and he's like, Turning Point is sponsoring my tour. It's called the One Conversation at a Time Tour. And I'm like, okay, so maybe he's like a new recruit. You know, they're like testing it out. Well, it turns out he just lied. That's not a thing. Like, he made it up. He went to 10 different local chapters and said, hey, will you host me? And they said, yeah, sure. And so then he goes on Twitter and says, this is a thing. That'd be like if I said, I'm going to go to 5 different McDonald's and eat lunch there. And then I went on Twitter and said, I'm partnering with McDonald's on the One Big Mac at a Time tour, sponsored by McDonald's, sold out crowd. I just had 3 Big Macs at the LaGrange McDonald's. Like, do you understand the difference? He called up 10 local chapters like college kids and was like, hey, can I do an event? I'll drive there. And they're like, sure. Okay, let's schedule it for this weekend. And then he goes on Twitter and represents it as though like Turning Point sent him, go, Brilyn, do what Charlie would have won, complete his legacy, finish what he started. Like, that did not happen. That's crazy. That's so bold. And now he's getting called on the carpet for it. And rightfully so. What a snake, man. What a sociopath. You fucked up. He almost got away with it, too. But Tyler Boyer called him out. He's a Turning Point action guy. So I saw that. I was like, wow. I thought he was a sociopath before because the guy's a total fake. Everything about him, he's media trained. He's like wrote a stupid fucking book. His book is called One Generation Away. It's from that Ronald Reagan quote.
Yeah, so you can see basically he's just trying to be like a clone of him. It's one thing where there's like other conservatives basically filling in for Charlie Kirk to finish his tour. You have like Michael Knowles, Megyn Kelly, all these people, but they're not trying to be Charlie Kirk. They know they're just a fill-in. They know it's like an honor thing. You have Steven Crowder doing his Change My Mind Again in honor of Charlie Kirk because he wants to get speaking out to people, but that's his own thing. He's not trying to be Charlie Kirk. He's doing it in his own way. You have people like Cam Higbee going out, doing something in their own way. This dude is literally look like he was made in a lab to try to be Charlie Kirk. And I'm sure his parents had some kind of influence on that too, with all their money and resources and everything. But the timing of it is just so awful. And it's just like, it seems like they saw a situation and instead of like mourning and doing all these different things to maybe help out Turning Point or maybe help the movement, but not try to take what is his, they're just trying to do exactly what he does. Like you can even see the way he speaks on stage. It looks like he's just memorized how Charlie Kirk was and just wanted to copy him. It's honestly just so gross. And it's just so disingenuous too. Let me know what you guys think about the fake Charlie Kirk. If you guys think this is like crazy that he's doing this, if you think it's like no big deal or whatever, you think people are blowing this out of proportion. I think it's just the timing of it. I think it's just so wrong. Make sure you comment down below, subscribe to all my other social media accounts. I'll catch you next time.